It has been just about 1 year since I left the US and moved to Asia pretty much on a whim. Didn't know what to expect, didn't know what life would be like, didn't really know much of anything. Left behind all my friends, my family, sold everything I owned, haven't been back since.
Okay, can I come?
He's crying.
I'm not gonna have any work when we get back to school.
What?
I'm not gonna have any work.
Bye, Kimmy. Stand up. Get up. Stand up. Give me love. Love you. I'm bringing you. Okay, she's coming with me, guys. Let go.
I'm only coming.
Bye, Kylie girl.
Crying butt.
Love you. Give me a hug. Give me a... Love you. Bye, buddy. It's crazy how fast time flies. I mean, like, I literally would have never expected to be living in a different country. Like, if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, like, would you be in Thailand, I would have told you, like, what? Like, it wasn't on my mind. And then coming out here, not knowing anything, and it's been a year already. Like, time has really just flown by. But the experience has been great, and so I really just want to kind of share my story and just comparing life in the US to life now, life in Asia, life in Thailand, and some of the other places I've visited, and hopefully inspire some people with my journey. So let's go back in time a bit to October of 2022. That's when I came to Thailand on a one-way ticket, and my story actually starts pretty much a little bit less than a month before that, to where the whole idea of coming to Thailand even began. And so back in the States, running my pressure washing business, which I was doing for the past like 5 years or so, got bored with that. I'm like, all right, it's time for something new. I need to switch it up a little bit. Get to October, and then one day I just wake up. I'm like, you know what? Like, I want to move. I want to switch it up. I had 1 month before my lease was ending. I just ended up breaking the lease. I'm like, whatever. You guys do what you got to do. I'll leave you guys with a clean and empty apartment. But yeah, that last month is, it is what it is. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm leaving. So I sold everything within a 3-week time frame. Once I made the decision, told my people, my friends, family, like, listen, guys, like, I'm moving. Like where? I'm like, out the country. I'm moving to Thailand. Everybody's like, what? Like, for real? Like, you're not serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious this time. And it was a good time because it worked out, because at this point in time in October last year, all the COVID restrictions were, being lifted. So I didn't have to worry about the same things that were a problem the 2 years prior. Right. And so, I had to do my little bit of research before coming here. But the main thing was like, you know what? I'll figure it out when I get here. So I bought my ticket, had a long 38-hour journey to get here. Obviously, before that, like I said goodbye to my family. I ended up living at home, I think, for 2 weeks before I moved out here, because, I had to basically get myself out the apartment. So once that was sold, I went back to my parents' house for 2 weeks as I was, waiting on my flight day to come up. Said my goodbyes, boarded the plane, 38-hour journey getting here. Was tired when I got here. Didn't know anybody. Like, I didn't come here with any friend base. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have anybody to walk me through things. I wasn't even familiar with many of the other YouTubers that were out here prior to me coming out here. So I really just came out here on a very spontaneous, not knowing much journey, right? And so I get here first night. I didn't even get like a SIM card here. So like, I get to my Airbnb, I'm all checked in, right? So I have no service on my phone. I only have Wi-Fi in my room. I'm like, if I leave, like, I don't really know, where to go. So ended up walking around, in my very first night, there was like a food cart, like pretty much only like a block away from where I was staying. And I had some pad thai. All right, guys, here in Bangkok, getting my very first street meal. I don't even know what it says. I can't read it, but it looks like pad thai, so that's what I'm ordering right now. So we're gonna see how it goes. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I'm having pad thai in Thailand. And at that moment, that just brought me like a little bit of happiness. I'm like, yo, like, I'm eating this meal in the States, really didn't know anything about Thai culture, right, before coming here. A lot of times in America, you know, we enjoy these dishes, we enjoy food from other places, but we don't be knowing anything about the places that we, you know, we'll love the food, but won't know anything about the people or the culture or anything like that. So at that moment, I just had like an aha moment. I'm like, wow, like you're really over here, like you're on the other side of the world enjoying this pad Thai, and you're enjoying it from the source for 50 baht, which is like $1.50. I'm like, if you get pad Thai in the States, it's like, you know, $8 or more for pad Thai dish. I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, you know what? I think I can make it work here. And that was just on night one, right? But obviously it took some getting used to being out here, and especially being alone, which is point number one I'll hit on in this video, is that being alone is something that might take adjusting to, because you get on YouTube and you see the highlight life of all the, you know, YouTubers and content creators that come overseas and, you know, and praise being an expat or a digital nomad, right? And how amazing it is. But very few people are talking about how it can get lonely, right? Like I left my, you know, my friends and my family who I'm used to seeing weekly or sometimes daily, right, to now having no one, right, in a place that the English isn't the main language, right? So it's just like there's humps to get over, where obviously I'm black, I don't just blend in. But even with that being said, I've learned how to navigate being alone, right? Majority of my time spent here in my past nearly a year has been alone. I've gone through humps, you know, where I'm hanging out with people, whether it's, you know, where I met a couple friends who were just here for a little bit of time, traveling through from different countries, or maybe, you know, I might meet a girl and end up hanging out with her for, you know, a few months or a few weeks or whatever it comes down to, right? So I will say number one is that while things are great, right, it is like, you know, I really appreciate being overseas, and I will be going into more detail very shortly, but being alone is something you might have to navigate with. With that being said, that's really the biggest thing I'm gonna get out of the way as far as the more of the downside. But on the positive side, the one thing I've gained is peace. I have so much peace in my life. I don't worry about the same things that I was worrying about prior to, you know, being here in Thailand. And so even when this whole idea of coming here began, you know what I'm saying, I did watch a few YouTube videos, and that was enough to be like, you know what, Thailand looks beautiful, I want to come here. But I didn't know what my experience would be like as a, you know, as a foreigner, and especially as a black American, because, and one point I want to dive into this moment is America really is a matrix. It really is a matrix. From the media, from the constant tension and division in the country, and, you know, and the different political parties, and, you know, and everyone's individual beliefs. It's so much tension and division.
The deadly police shooting of Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky. The justice
handed down for last year's mass shooting that was in Buffalo, New York. We all remember that one too. The white supremacist who pleaded guilty to killing 10 black people at a Buffalo grocery store.
Nashville police releasing surveillance video of the moments leading up to the shooting there at the Covenant School, that grade school that left 3 young children dead and 3 administrators dead as well.
Dylan Roof's murder trial, prosecutors revealed chilling images of him before and after his attack on an African-American church where he shot and killed 9 people. Maybe
Now, obviously, being a black American, we have our own history, long history within America, right? Obviously, fighting through slavery, racism, you know, just equal rights, just different things, right? That whole situation on its own.
We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Though I join hands so often with students and others behind jail bars singing it, we shall overcome. Sometimes we've had tears in our eyes when we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome.
So with that being said, you know, we don't have the same Jim Crow laws that used to exist in America, but you still have racism. It's still very real. It's prevalent. It happens, right? And you see the media all the time. You see police brutality, shootings, and then also there's our problems within our own community, like our own issues of violence and crime against each other, right? All these are important topics and problems that exist within America. With that being said, coming here to a country where obviously I'm the minority, and what I mean by that is like not even just being Thai, I just mean Asian, because Thailand is sort of like a melting pot of other Asian cultures. So you'll come here, you'll have Thai people, you also have Japanese people, you also have Chinese people, but obviously being black here is going to be the minority. With that being said, I once again didn't know what to expect, because the media that you'll watch, the news you'll watch in the US, will make you feel like there's nowhere on planet Earth where you can feel peace as a black person, and that, you know, everywhere you go is going to be racism, you're not going to be treated well. And Thailand totally shifted my perspective on that when I got here. Now, this wasn't the first time I've ever been out the country, so I knew that that as a whole wasn't, that whole, you know, idea of you know, black people being treated bad everywhere is not a thing. Prior to coming here, I've been to Dubai, I've been to Mexico, you know, and I felt safe there, felt fine. Now, mind you, I wasn't in those places that long and didn't do a whole lot of things, so it wasn't enough to really make a good judgment. But, you know, overall, I could say, like, I didn't feel unsafe or anything like that. So mind you, everything I'm saying is coming from the perspective as just, you know, me just being an ignorant American. When I say ignorant, I just mean basically all I know is what people have told me or the media has fed me. So I'm glad that I've got to be here, boots on the ground, and experience life here and life in a different country for myself. And so when I say I have peace here, the reason why is because the things that come with the reason why I have peace is because, one, while Thailand has its problems, I don't want to make it seem like it's a perfect country, you know what I'm saying? I do speak from a bias because I am a foreigner. I'm coming here, you know, with an income where the dollar is stronger than, you know, than the Thai baht is. So I'm speaking with, you know, I understand my privilege and certain things that I say about this country, right? They're all good things, but I understand there are negative things that happens here, but I can't really speak on them too much because I'm kind of not in that mix. I'm kind of, in a sense, in a privileged way, floating above it. Like, I don't watch the Thai news. Like, I don't follow Thai politics. Because at the end of the day, if things got bad, since I'm not a citizen here, I could just always leave. So once again, I do understand my privilege when I speak on certain things. But with that being said, as a foreigner here in Thailand, I have felt safe. There's been no point in my 12 months here that I've felt unsafe, or almost 12 months. So that is something that I would associate with peace. I don't have to worry. So much crime right now is going on in America, right? You can't really have peace anywhere in America. Not in church, not in the grocery store, not at home. Chaos can happen anywhere, from the mass school shootings that happen all over the country. People cannot even send their kids to school without worrying about violence, right? Gun violence. And so being an American and growing up in the American matrix, we're all about, you know, guns and all rights and, you know what I'm saying, and freedom, which is all great and all. But I will say, as an American here in Thailand, I feel more peace and I feel more freedom here than in America. From the cost of living, that is an aspect that provides peace, right? It's easy for me to get by here. The safety, the access to affordable fruit, just wherever I go, right? Fruit in America, it's so hard to eat healthy in America because of the cost. Healthcare is cheaper here. Getting an apartment is cheaper here. If you are someone who likes, you know, marijuana is legal here. And so those are some of the things I really appreciate about this country. I feel like overall, from what I've witnessed, for the most part, people get along, people are peaceful, and people are hard working here. So if you walk down the street, you'll see the elder lady in her food cart trying to make a living. And you'll also see, you know, the big corporate buildings, but everyone, it's all working, you know what I'm saying? Everyone is working together. And that is something that is amazing to see. Hey, real quick, if you're traveling, you're going to want to have travel insurance. I personally use Safety Wing. Travel insurance is going to cover things like trip interruption, lost luggage, or medical incidents that happen while you're overseas. And trust me, you do not want to have to come out of pocket for these expenses. So travel insurance is definitely good to have. And it only will cost you about $45 a month to have that peace of mind. Lastly, be sure to protect your online identity and data by using a VPN. A VPN stands for Virtual Privacy Network. I personally use NordVPN. And this allows me to safely surf the internet, whether I'm using public Wi-Fi or whatever. It also allows you to access servers from across the world, so you can access websites that are blocked. If you've ever been in Thailand or other countries in Asia where you try to access certain websites and you can't get to them, it's because they're blocked. Now, by using a VPN, you can bypass that and access the websites you need to access. So be sure to check out both SafetyWing and NordVPN. And if you use the links below the video, it helps support the channel. Won't cost you any extra, but I'd appreciate it. Anyway, back to the video. Peace. It gets tiring being in an environment where there's constant division and, and people getting attacked for their opinions and cancel culture and certain movements and agendas trying to be pushed on people. Like, one example I'll give you guys right now as an American coming to Thailand, that could be a bit of a culture shock, but at the same time is something that you kind of just get used to. Is one thing you'll see in Thailand that most people and most Americans, this is pretty much all they know, is like ladyboys. What about the ladyboys? Okay, yes, ladyboys exist in Thailand. It's a very real thing. There are quite a few of them. Now, one thing I'll say as an American coming to Thailand that's interesting to me is, like, in America we have this movement, right? I say this all in love, but there's this, LGBTQ agenda that sort of gets pushed on everyone. And so that topic alone causes a lot of division. Now, if you're gay, whatever, listen, that's your business. My point of this is that in America, you talk to someone and, let's talk about trans people, right, for a second, is that if you talk to someone trans in America, they're going to convince you that, no, I actually am a woman or I actually am a man. You talk to a lady boy here in Thailand, right? They will tell you, like, oh, I am lady boy. Like, I'm a boy that's appearing as a lady. They don't try to say, no, I actually am a woman. If you get on Tinder, these sites, they'll be like, not a lady, I'm a boy. Different story than in America, depending on who you talk to. And so, even with that being said, even if these people are here, it's not like it's problematic, right? They're just existing, they're just doing them, but it doesn't feel like something that's forced on you, right? And that they're trying to get you to accept what they believe or their lifestyle. They're just there, right? They're just existing. And obviously there's people who come here that are into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to give my opinion on what people's things are. I'm just saying, as an American, in all the media and what it does, and versus being here, was like, it's there, but it's not like in your face and trying to force an agenda down your throat, which is another thing like I appreciate. And I understand that might be a controversial opinion for some people, but it is what it is. And so that is another reason why I like being here. It's just freeing that I don't have to worry about these things. I'm not looking over my back. I'm not worried about police brutality or being targeted because I'm black. These are things that I appreciate and that I value. And so every time now, in the past, year being here, when it comes down to, I'm thinking about, should I visit home? Obviously, I miss my friends and my family, and I want to visit home. And every time it comes up to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go visit, I'm just like, I'm like scratching my head. Do I really want to go back right now? Because, like, once you're in a zone, once you've acquired peace, right, you want to protect that peace. And so every time I think about going to the USA, I'm like, you know what? Am I willing to sacrifice my peace at this moment? Is it time yet? And that's something I'm still, like, dealing with and trying to figure out. The time will come. I don't know. Could be very soon. I just go back for a visit and come back over here. But even going to visit, I'm just like, yo, do I want to do that? Like, I'm so used to my life here now that it's like I really don't want to go back. Honest truth. Another thing I want to share is just the constant grind, chase culture, and the materialism, right? And keeping up the Joneses that happens in America, right? Of trying to fit in and trying to flex and trying to one up, and the chase. And even myself, before I came, I'm saying, like, my last 2 cars were luxury vehicles, and I'm about the next attainment. I need the next thing, the better, the more money. And one thing that has shifted a lot since I've come to Thailand is, and I'll say this and be completely honest, Thailand has sort of made me lazy, but in the way that where it's like I don't feel the need to constantly be like grind, like get this money. And one of the reasons why I came over here is to find the balance between what it means to live and life's purpose, right? Because I'm in this American system where everything is about money. Everything is money, right? That's why everything's so expensive and inflation is going up. Everything is about money. And I'm like, you know what? The chase of life cannot just be about money. That seems so empty, to be the person who's just accumulating for the sake of just being like, oh, I'm rich, right? What about the other things that matter, like relationships, family, health, wellness, right? You can't just have a life that's focused strictly on money. So I'm still in my journey of figuring out that balance. But in America, right, so many people are struggling, and so many people are facing depression because they feel like they're not good enough or trying to keep up with a certain image. And I'm like, that cannot be it, right? And now I come from a country and a culture where it's, oh, you know, look at their new car, look at the new SUV they just got, and look at this and that. And that's supposed to be the definition of happiness. And I come over here to Thailand, and I'm witnessing families of 5 on a single motorbike, smiling. And that like shifted my whole perspective. I'm like, yo, before I came here, like my last car, like I owned a Benz. Before that, I owned a Cadillac CTS Coupe. Like I had some nice vehicles, right? And it felt, you know, it felt good to be in a nice car and whatnot. And now I don't own a car. Now my whole life fits in pretty much 2 bags, or to give exact, a suitcase that fits on carry-on and 2 book bags. My whole life fits in there. I don't own a car anymore. I don't have to worry about the liability of a car, insurance, car payments, maintenance. Every ride I take now is either through a taxi or on the back of a motorbike for the average cost of $1.50 to $2. And so I'm actually enjoying this simplified life I'm living now and not having to just worry about the same things. Me coming over here is not about, like, you know, chasing women. Like oftentimes I get lumped in because I guess I'm young and black and making content. Like people will see me, even if I post a girl, be like, oh, passport bros. I want to say once again, guys, like I do not associate with the passport bro movement. I am just living my life, right? And experiencing different cultures. And so I want my message really for this video is to tell you all watching this right now, whether you're a man, woman, white, black, whatever you are, American, whatever, that if you don't like something, I want you to understand that if you do not like something, there's 2 options you have. Or actually you got 3 options. You can sit in there, deal with it, complain about it, whatever. You can try to influence change, or you can get up and go. I chose number 3, get up and go. While at the same time will probably be affecting number 2, which is change, because by me getting up and going and other people getting up and going, it begins to wake people up and show people that the whole world isn't the same, right? There are places where you can go where you can feel treated equally. There are places to go where you can have a better quality of life. And I haven't even scratched the surface on that, right? I feel like Thailand is a place that whatever life you want to live, you can have it here. You're used to the big city life? Great. You can live in Bangkok. You got public transportation, you know, fast pace, you got good restaurants, high rise. You want to live a quiet beach life. There's many different places and islands you can live in Thailand for that. You want to live a hippie life where you just, you know, you're living off of vibes and you like the mountains. You want to, you know, smoke weed all day. You can go live in Pai. There's literally kind of something here for everyone. But the message of this video isn't really to necessarily push Thailand, even though that's where I'm currently at, but it's to push the idea of location freedom. And that if you don't like something about one place, be open-minded enough to go somewhere else. Right? And once again, like I said, I now have peace of mind, and that's what I value the most. I make less money now than I did when I was living in the US, but my quality of life has increased. I gave up a very good pay, a decent amount of my income to embrace something else, right? And I'm completely okay with that. And so this is something I want to do. I'm like, you know what? While I'm young, while I don't have any kids or family or a mortgage or anything locking me down, I want to explore the world and see what else is out there. There's nothing I can lose by doing this. Yes, I'll miss out with time amongst friends and family, but I've also had my last 26 years around people. And so no matter what, I'll be grateful for that. Nothing can take away the time that I did have. But I'm like, you know what? I'm entering into my, you know, my manhood, my adulthood. I have to be willing to, you know, to step out and to venture out in the world and figure out what's going to work best for me and what's going to shape my life and what's going to make me who I am. And so that's what this journey is right now. That's what this channel is, along with me sharing information and just you know, giving my perspective. Once again, I'll tell you guys that I can have my opinion on places and my experiences. You're a different person. You'll have different experiences. Hopefully, you know, they won't be bad ones. but we're all different human beings, right? We all see the world through different lenses. I'm just here to, just share my story. Because once again, the reason why I'm doing this content is because even when I was doing my YouTube journey, I didn't see many people that look like me. And one thing you'll learn in America, due to the history and the racism, is that, as I mentioned earlier, is that an experience for one person might not be the same for you. Like, if I'm to be completely transparent, if I watch a Caucasian YouTuber go around the world and and say how amazing it is, that's one thing. But I do know, and this is for a fact, right, that there's some places that I'm gonna go where it's not gonna be the same, where I'm not gonna be as embraced as they may have been embraced as a Caucasian American, right? So I come on here to add some diversity to content and some more mixed perspective. So far my journey has been smooth, nothing to really complain about. Side note, another thing that's been very interesting to me, along with the fact that I've gotten to meet people from all over the world since I've left the US, which I really appreciate, because it's so different actually meeting someone versus just hearing about people and whatever agenda was pushed online. When you actually meet these people, most people from around the world are good human beings. They're good people. I mean, I've met people from Russia, UK, India. I mean, I've literally met people from all over the world. And you know what I'm saying? And there's good people everywhere. But another interesting thing that I've come to realize is that within America, I'm an African American, right? I'm always an African American in America. Once I leave and I meet people of other countries, I'm only American in their eyes. I'm only American. I'm not African American. I'm just American. And that was like something that really stuck out to me when I left and I started meeting people. Like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm American. Oh, like, you're an American. They don't subcategorize me like I'm subcategorized in my own country, that I was born and raised, my parents born and raised, my grandparents born and raised. And yet we'll never just be Americans. We're always going to be African Americans, or someone else is going to be Asian Americans or Latino Americans. But for some reason, the Caucasians in America they just get to be Americans for whatever reason, but everyone else is title American. Make that make sense. So anyway, I don't want to make this video too long, but I just want to tell you guys my story and some of the things I appreciate about being over here, along with the downside, which I said is loneliness. And another downside I'll mention to you guys is dating. Now, this is a personal thing, because there's guys that come out here who are going to have an amazing dating experience. And it's all about preference. With that being said, my preference when it comes to partners is I still feel the most connection with women that look like me, with other African American women. Now, the reason why is not because I'm not open-minded or because I don't embrace other things. It's just simply because that it's easier to relate with people and feel a connection when there's culture, obviously your race, there's just things you're familiar with, lingo, unspoken moments. I know if you're around people who grew up in the same or similar scenario, right? There's moments where you guys can just look at each other and bust out laughing because you just understand the joke, or something is funny because of a show that you used to watch because you're black, right? If I'm black, the shows I watch and the shows we watch are going to be different from the shows that were watched in other households around the country of obviously of other different ethnicities. So same thing happens here, right? There's things and shows and just a lot of things, this life that I'm not familiar with, that I can't relate to. With that being said, if you're willing to get over that hump and work past that, then yes, you can find great relationships. So my perspective has nothing to do with Thai women or even putting one culture of women above the other. It's just simply about genuine connection. So once again, that's a personal opinion. It's all about what you're looking for. There's amazing Thai women out here, obviously, just like anywhere you go, you'll find amazing women. But once again, not the point of this video. I just felt like since it's been pretty much almost a year now, that I would come back on here and kind of give you guys a full perspective of just my overall thoughts in life here in Thailand, and how much I've been enjoying the quality of life and peace I have being over here. So another thing people ask me is, okay, what's next? Do you plan on going back to the US? Do you plan on living in Thailand? Do you plan on moving around? So you guys will know that I classify myself as a digital nomad. Now, what that really means is, once again, location freedom. So basically, I choose places based on what fits me best at the moment, at the season of my life. Right now, Thailand fits the season of my life, but I also have so much more of the world to explore, so at any given point in time, I could get up, take my 3 bags with me, hop on a plane, and go live in another country and experience, a new culture and a new way of life. So who knows where I'll be a year from now, or even 6 months from now. I can't tell you. I don't even know. I think that's freeing. I understand a point in my life where I don't overplan my life too far out, because I realize that there's so many things in our life that are out of control, right? We can't control tomorrow. So my biggest motto right now is enjoying the right now and embracing, the moments that exist right now. Because one lesson I learned from the prior 3 years of life, right, COVID, is just how quickly things can be snatched away from you, and how quickly things can shut down, right? We take being able to travel and visit another country for granted. What about when the borders closed and we couldn't do that, right? When people were locked down, when people had to walk around with masks on their face, it just, kind of a gray cloud over the whole world, or at least most of the world. There's some places where COVID never really was a big deal and life went on as usual. And now, with me embracing location freedom, if COVID does happen again, I want to be in an environment where there isn't a gray cloud. And so that's what this is about, right? It's about exploring and gaining perspective on things for myself, not what other people tell me or not what indoctrinate me with, but I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Lastly, before I end this video, I've met people in person who asked me, man, I love your channel. How can I support the channel? Number one thing you can do for me is to share my videos. The more views it gets, the algorithm loves it. It helps the channel grow, and hence, obviously, I can make more money off of just putting out content. As you guys know, I don't sell consultations or whatever, so I'm not making money off of that. But another way you guys can support, if you want to buy the ebook, I made an ebook. I don't even really post it much. I do have an ebook. If you guys come to Thailand, check it out. If you want to support, I'll put the price actually at pay what you want. So if you want to pay $1 for it, great. If you want to pay $50 for it, great. I'll appreciate it. But I don't have my Cash App up anywhere, so you guys can, what I'm saying, I'm not on here to ask for money or anything like that. But if you guys want to support, you can, like I said, share the video. You can buy the ebook, or if you're traveling here and you need the safety wing insurance or a VPN, use my links. That's it. There's nothing else I'm going to ask you guys. What I'm saying? That is all. Anyway, with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. Do one of them or do all of them. I appreciate you. See you guys next time. Peace. This, no cap, is the best and most fun holiday I've ever experienced in my life. Shout out to Thailand, shout out to Songkran. I mean, nothing but pure madness and fun. I mean, I'm having the time of my life out here during this holiday. Yeah, all I can say is you just gotta be here.